Hey everybody, you are listening to the voice of Ingrid Wood, host of the Balance Your Music podcast, which is available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play for you to subscribe to. This right here that you're watching is a vlog associated with the Balance Your Music podcast, more so specifically episodes 21 and 22, and I'll be sure to link those up in the description, and check those out when you get time because they give you more of an in-depth background on what you are about to see. So as you are already seeing, I drove from Cincinnati to Fremont, Ohio, packed up the car with my recording equipment, and I sat down with Mr. Brennan Willis, who is the producer, engineer, and owner of the Ohio Recording Company. It's a fairly new recording studio. Literally built it from the ground up on this humongous plot of land, and it just opened, I think, like in December of 2015. But before Brennan and I sat down to have our conversation, he took me on a tour of the studio, and he also drove me around the premises, and it's huge. Like, you could probably fit a couple of baseball diamonds and football fields on this humongous plot of land. But anyways, let's go ahead and let Brennan take us on this tour.
You know, we used to, like, our house before was smaller than our upstairs.
Okay.
You know, and so, like, to be able to just even have our upstairs that's like nicer than our old house, and just to have the space and stuff is just, it's just a product of working hard. And you know, even when you don't see how it can happen, you know, you just never know.
Keep going.
That's right. You gotta just keep doing it. While we're in here, I'll just tell you about this room. Like,
okay.
So we basically had to. One of the big features is the cloud, but the cloud. The ceiling above this is like a 20-foot vaulted ceiling, and so we kind of brought this down with some sound treatment in it to like kind of compress the room. You have mostly, these are all fabric surfaces from Fabric Mate, but they have behind all the fabric there's acoustic treatment called Recore, which is like a recycled water bottle material.
Okay.
But you can tell in here it's really dead, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's not completely dead. It's like, could be a little bit. Could be drier, but and then this is kind of like a bass trap back here too that we can. So there's just air between there, just kind of. That's all the dorky stuff, I guess.
Gotcha.
But,
No, that's cool.
So this is just like a vocal booth that we put in to kind of work. I think the workflow was just really nice to have this little room. This is LED light too. I don't know if it'll.
Cool.
But it was just nice to have this like a little workspace like right off of the control room, because it was just, if you're doing a singer-songwriter thing, you can just kind of pop in and out really quick, and it's just nice. It's just handy to have. Also, what's nice is so what we'll do a lot of times for our pre-production stuff is we'll get like the singer and an acoustic guitar or whatever in here, and then the drums in the live room, and everybody can see one another. It's super handy.
Yeah.
That's something that we put in, and you know, like we use it almost every session.
Okay.
It's just like we didn't think we'd be using it that often, but it just works.
Gotcha.
One thing I'll mention are custom panels. So we had a guy named Mike Rhodes from Skinny Fish Audio in Nashville, and he's done some really big studios like Ocean Way in Nashville. And, he did all these panels for us, and we got them through Redco, but he helped us plan out where they all went and stuff, and they wired them up and did all that stuff. But what's cool in the hallway is that if you actually put a mic, like if you have somebody singing down here, and you have your room mic down there, you can actually, the time delay is like a slapback delay, and it just sounds really cool. It's just really live, and if you're going for that sort of a sound, it's like really nice, really handy. It's our lobby. There's Nick. He's my assistant engineer. I'll show you Studio B here in a second. That's Nick's domain.
Sure.
Which, Nick, you're gonna need the keys if you want to open it up and clean it up before somebody goes in there. So this is the live room, which is not, I thought about really cleaning it up really nice for you, but then I thought, well, this is kind of like, you can kind of see how we get stuff set up, but we pretty much, I'm a drummer, so I try to keep the drums live and mic'd up as much as possible. That's because it's just a time saver to be able to have drums just ready to go.
Yeah.
Here's our panel there. We had a pass through for all our amps. So you can actually, most of the time you can record guitar or anything in there, and the amps all come out to here. This is the line side I was talking about. Like you can play drums here, and you can see the singer in here. A lot of times, I think the last time we did a pre-pro session, we had the bass set up here, so we had like the little triangle going. Plus, we could see them.
Yeah.
We have dimmers on all the lights, because everybody likes it to look like a cave. But if you bring the lights up, we do have a balcony up here, which has lights, but there's none on. But you can do you can have a class room sort of thing where people can watch while we set up or do things like that. Or we've had live sessions where bands are performing. We had an audience up there. These are ISO booths also. So we have panels on here and here. This was just gonna be for amps, guitar amps. So we get a live band. You can basically plug your instrument cable directly into the wall, and it comes out of that panel. So then you can be a guitar player and have all your pedals, and all your effects out here, and then have your amp isolated, which is nice. Also have a piano booth, which we have a couple pianos in here, oddly enough. It didn't seem like it would fit, but this was from my old house. I got it off Craigslist for $150, and but I love the sound of it. It just has like a, if you were recording like a classic pianist, it wouldn't be the right sound, but just for like a folk record or something, it's really cool. It just has a great resonance to it. It's a sustain that you can hear chords just resonating. It almost sounds like there's reverb on it. Wow. It's a good sounding piano. And then obviously we have the CP70.
Obviously.
Yeah. So the CP70 is a great piano too. Yeah. And what's cool with this is that then again you can plug into the wall, and then you can record it right down right into the board, which is just cool. It's just fun stuff that you can do. The way we set this up. We were gonna have a door up there, which I'm really glad that we didn't do. We were gonna put a railing there too, so you could have another like overlook. But what we kind of decided is that we didn't really want people up there. We're gonna have this spot, and our living room is right on the other side of that, so it'd be really just more expensive getting the doors to be super isolated, super heavy doors. But you can see there's outlets and things up there. So what's nice is that, when we do stuff, like you can put lights and you can plug things in up there and cameras, and you can get up there with a ladder and do all kinds of stuff. Our doors are notable in the sense that these were from another studio in Cleveland called Antioch. They're a concrete laminate door, so they're super heavy. Okay. These doors are just a normal solid core wood door, but we had to basically build these jambs custom so that they close, and they basically all close just like a outdoor door. So they have like seal all the way around, and you close it and it's just like snug, and it does a great job isolating. We also put in Studio B, which is down here, which we're still working on. So this is kind of just in progress. But this is gonna be Nick's space. So this is basically like the control room part of it. And then we have a live room in here, which just has stuff in it right now, but just like fabric and different stuff, materials. But this will be deadened down quite a bit, so we'll be able to basically like voiceover projects, video production type stuff, smaller recording projects that are maybe if their drums are already done, you could kind of finish it out in here.
Guitars and smaller things, yeah.
So, but we have some more furniture to buy, and we ordered this, and they only sent us one. Oh. Even though the picture had two. So, yeah. So they really kind of bamboozled us on that one. So now So now we're waiting for the other stand. We have a bunch of baffles to put up in here. There's the couch that needs to go in. There's the treatments.
Cool.
But right now, at least we have it set up. He does like little videos and things, and I don't know if you watched our Instagram stuff or anything like that, like with little 15-second videos. He
Live sessions too.
Live sessions.
Stuff. Yeah.
So, and he is a student at Tri-C, which is a school in Cleveland. He's a
Cuyahoga Community College, and they have a recording arts program, which is, I believe, one of the best in Ohio. But they have 6 studios in the building, all with like analog consoles and all with like an isolation room, and it's, teachers and people who have been producers in Nashville before and stuff like that. It's kind of like a blessing to find. Like I was like, I can't believe that this exists in Cleveland. So but I drive there like 2 days a week to go to class, and
from Fremont, which is
from here it's about an hour and a half. Yeah. But it's totally worth it to get for what I'm getting. So.
Yeah.
See, when we built this place, it was just me, and we were hoping to be able to find another engineer at some point or whatever. And we've had multiple engineers or multiple interns and things, but what separates like somebody like Nick, if you want to get into a studio, if you want to try to find a space, you just have to show up. And show up consistently, without being even asked sometimes. I mean, you don't want to overstep your boundaries, but he's here every day. He doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But he finds things to do, and because he does that, he ends up finding work too. So he ends up getting jobs and to do and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's all come. I was here before the building was built, and I've probably been here for like 8 months or 9 months or something now, and it just kind of like kept leading up, and then eventually Brennan felt comfortable kind of like giving me a space to work, and it, that's just, you have to persevere and just keep working at it, and it's the answer, I think.
Yeah, it's just hard work. And we do have an office, but I don't want to show it to you because it's so dirty.
That's okay. It's all right.
But this is the office. It's just a little area we had. Eventually, I think we'll probably end up turning that into like a editing room, like a Studio B type of, or Studio C sort of thing, where it's just like
just a small suite,
just like editing stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like for another intern.
Did you make that or did you buy it like that?
We actually, so I can share a story about several of these pieces, because if you look around, we have, like for instance, here's another piece. This is just wall art. This is just a heart. This is an aluminum heart from a piano, and that made it possible, light enough for us to hang it on the wall.
Okay.
But there was a guy. His name is Mike Daniels. He has a piano movers business, and so he gets these pianos that are dead on arrival. Like he shows up and they can't be tuned. There's nothing they can do with them. So he just hauls them away, and people just want to get rid of them because they're just taking up space in their house. So he gets these these great pieces, and sometimes he'll keep them. I think the rest of this ended up in a bonfire. He just threw it in a fire. But if you go to his warehouse, he's got a bunch of shells of pianos like that, of which we got one for outside, which is looking pretty dilapidated at this stage. But this one we bought specifically to make a bookshelf. It was something I saw on the internet. And then one of our finishers, like the woodworker, he just helped us make it, and like he did a great job. I mean, painting it all on the inside, and he created the shelves and the whole thing. But we just bought the shell of it, and we just thought it'd be a great conversation piece,
Yeah. Now, right here, I don't really show you too much of the upstairs, because up here is Brennan and his wife. They live on the upstairs part, so Brennan said I was more than welcome to record, but I was like, kind of give y'all a little bit of privacy, but I did show a little bit, because the balcony in the live room, you have to go through the upstairs to get to it. And also, if you're coming in from out of town to do a session, or if you're going to be there for a couple of days, they have some living quarters for clients to be able to stay upstairs in the bedroom and kitchen and all that cool stuff. But like I said, my bad. I just didn't want to record all of that, but I did record a little bit. Okay, we're gonna finish up this vlog by Brennan taking us out and driving us around the premises. So before I sign off, make sure you check out episodes 21 and 22 of the podcast that go along with this episode. And depending on how far in the future you are listening to this, episode 22 may not have come out just yet. It'll come out in a couple days of me posting this episode. But until next time, this is Ingrid Wood. Take care, God bless, and stay balanced.